Thank you, Vivek sir, for telling us about this event. Earlier, as sir told, it was held in various colleges at various institutions. But a blessing in disguise, I would say, that we are holding this event online on this day. During COVID times, people faced a lot of difficulties. They faced a lot of issues which were really never expected by anyone. But in the hindsight, if we look at it, a lot of things changed for pharma industry. And industry is now accepting new norms, now moving to new norms. They are getting digitally active. That is why we wanted this event to be attended by industry, attended by academia, students, because we need to see where the industry is heading towards so that academia can adjust, students can understand what the future holds for them. So after this, I shall start the proceedings with the speakers speaking about their views, and let me start the sessions. The speakers of the session, let me read out the disclaimer. All the opinions, views, feedbacks, data, images, videos, interviews, or any other material shown during this event are purely for the learning and academic purposes of the subject, particularly pharma brand management. None of the views or opinions expressed by the speakers in live mode or as recordings are to be considered as endorsement of any brand either. This event is a non-commercial, purely academic event, and the content, recording, or any part of this event cannot be used for any commercial purposes. The topic of the session with the speakers is, we have the esteemed faculty from Jamia Hamdard who would be speaking on this particular topic, what the pharma industry expects from the pharma management students and the skills they need to acquire. So let me invite the Dean of Jamia Hamdard, Department of Healthcare and Pharmaceutical Management at Jamia Hamdard, Dr. Shibu John, to share with us his views on this particular topic. He has over 22 years of work experience in healthcare and higher education sector. Professor Shibujan, I welcome you to please share with us your thoughts about the topic.
So thank you once again, the entire Pharma State team for having me here. And as in the introductory remark said by Professor Vivek Hatangadi, that the COVID has a lot of positives as well as negatives. So one of the positive is that we could gather around say 1,500 to. I mean, we had a seminar where even 3,000 plus people have also joined. So this is a great opportunity as far as learning is concerned. My two PhD scholars have completed their thesis on time just because of this lockdown and the COVID. So we can debate on the aspects of good or bad on the COVID maybe some other time. But let us focus on the skill set required by a pharmaceutical management graduate today. As I mentioned, I'm Shibu John. I'm currently Dean, School of Management and Business Studies, Jamia Hamdard. So this is my email ID. If anyone has any query, they can always mail it to me. I'll just give you a brief background about Jamia Hamdard because I guess that there are many participants who are not from Jamia Hamdard. Jamia Hamdard is a deemed university. We have just completed 31 years of existence. This is, conceived by the Act of Parliament. It's a minority institution. Though we are very young compared to other premier institutions in Delhi like JNU, Delhi University, or other universities, but in last 31 years, we have done wonderful as far as academic performance are concerned. We are one of the institution of eminence, tag holders. Our NIRF ranking is very high. Our School of Pharmacy is #1. We have a very good medical college, Unani Medical College, nursing college, many more. And so we are continuously graded A grade in the NAC. In Jamia Hamdard, we have around 11 schools, which includes School of Management and Business Studies from where I come. We have a nursing school, we have a medical college, we have a pharmacy, we have an interdisciplinary we have a IT school, we have a science school. So they are uh, uh, 11 schools in Jamia Hamdard. The campus is spread over 100-acre land, lush green in South Delhi, and where my department of healthcare and pharmaceutical management, we are offering two MBA programs, healthcare management and pharmaceutical management, and both these programs we have started from 2005 onwards. So our almost all the students are placed in different pharmaceutical and healthcare companies for last, you'll find everyone, any company you go, students are there. So this is a brief background about my organization and my department. Other than Department of Healthcare and Pharmaceutical Management, we have two more departments. Department of Management, where we have MBA, HR, Marketing, Finance, International Business we offer. Then we have a Center for Hospitality and Catering Management, where also we are running undergraduate programs. Now, since we are talking about the pharmaceutical brand managers requirement, skill set requirement, we must understand that what are the key challenges before a pharmaceutical manager when he joins a company. He has to make the brand a mega brand. I mean, I guess that all the students, all the joinees will get a brand to work with. So everyone required to be working on towards making their brand as a mega brand. They need to drive for the growth for the brand you are handling. They have to sustain the brand over years. I mean, you may reach to a top level, but you have to be there because all the times competitors are looking at you. So they have to be there for many years in order to make it a grand. Then they have to keep a balance between business and ethical practices. This is one of the important parameter which I consider, that every pharma graduates working on the field of marketing or the research, that they have to keep a proper balance between the business that they do and the ethical practices they follow. Then another important challenge before a pharmaceutical manager is that they have to continuously monitor and motivate the team, okay? Because we expect that the team should perform in a very competitive environment. So it is very important that the team is always motivated to perform their best. Now, I have categorized the skills into two criteria. One is the basic skill that they have to have, and then the advanced or a domain skills. So both levels are important and they both complement each other. So let us take one by one. The basic skills. The first one, which I always consider, is the academic performance. Okay, so you may have all the qualities of all other level, but unless and until the academic performance is good, you may not be able to show up your other talents. So although it may not have a direct impact on the student or the candidate, but sometimes if a company or organization feels that the academic performance is the criteria to let them in, then you will not be able to showcase your talent, other talents that you have. So academic performance, many times it plays a crucial role in recruitment policies of the company. So for example, if a company decides that they want to take only students who have first division, so even if you don't have, I mean, you may have 59 or 58%, or you have all other talents, but because of this one criteria, you may not be able to join them. So academic performance is a key challenge. I've faced this problem throughout my career here, because I've seen many good candidates are being rejected just because of their academic performance. Then the personality, before they get into a proper job, there has to be a good personality. They should work on their appearance. They should look that the candidate is eager to learn, eager to perform. So the personality and appearance makes a very important criteria at the beginning. Then the sincerity. Okay, sincerity means that a student may not be very good in the domain knowledge in the beginning, because we all are students. I mean, at the stage we are students, and it's not necessary that they are having all the talent in the beginning, and they may not be able to give a good interview. But sincerity makes them learn many things faster. So if you are sincere, then you will learn the tricks of the business very soon. So sincerity is one of the important criteria I consider. Then the IT skills. Gone are the days when IT was not prominent, but today IT skills are required at any level, be it manager or a healthcare field or non-healthcare field. So IT skills are very important, because you know that we are having this meeting on Zoom. Unless and until you are little savvy with all the Zoom platforms or Google Meet and other things, you'll not be able to keep a pace with the other fellow students, other fellow participants, or other fellow colleagues. So IT skill is very important aspect. Then the communication, when I say both written and oral, most of the time you will be speaking with your managers, you will be speaking with your junior teams. So written communication should be very impressive. Written and oral communication should be very impressive. You may be asked to write a report, a brief report, maybe a snapshot of what event, all the all different activities you have carried out. So written communication will be, has to be proper to make the your senior managers or the senior bosses happy. Oral communication is equally important. Presentation skills, most of the time today the managers are required to make presentations. So unless and until you make a good impressive presentation, you'll not be able to convince your customers as well as your senior team members. Another important criteria is summarizing skill. When I say summarizing skill, means that many times it may happen that you may not have enough time to convince your senior members or maybe doctors. So they may have only say 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. So in that duration, how you summarize the entire episode is very important. Okay, I have seen many people, they are not able to summarize it properly, and then when you don't summarize it properly, then the important things may be skipped. So summarizing skill is very important. Then the database management techniques. I mean, we have so many databases today that a candidate has to use this data management in an appropriate way, so that they are always updated with the current data. Not only the data, but the interpretation of those data. Okay, so it is important that how you are able to handle the big data collected from various database sources like CMI, AVAX, IQVIA, CMARC, SMRC, etc. So the data are available today. If you want to really make to impress your doctor, impress your team members, impress your managers, please use these databases appropriately and try to convince them. Another important thing is the logical decision making. Okay, many times it may happen that you don't have enough precedence or enough knowledge about activity, but what you expect is that you must make a logical decision making, keeping in mind the possible outcome. So you know that if I do this, this is going to be my outcome. And if sometimes it may happen that the outcome may not be appropriate or outcome may not be correct, but still the bosses will be happy to see you that you have taken a logical decision. So that logical decision may sometimes go wrong, but if you are able to convince your team, if you convince your doctor, convince your managers that I have taken this decision based on this logic, so if you are able to sell your idea, it is good. So logical decision making is an important parameter which a manager should have. Now let us come back to the skill set required, which considered as a domain knowledge or technical knowledge. Now most of you have already gone through. I mean, I am sure that the pharma experts are there to talk on these skills in detail. But I would like to briefly touch on these topics. Ability to think creatively and innovatively. No, today's environment is very competitive, and unless and until you put some creativity, some innovation in your action, you may not be able to give a tough competition to your competitors. So think differently, think creatively and innovatively. Then the budget management skills and proficiency. Budget management, when I say, I mean that you should be able to project your activities in a better manner and make a proper budget so that your budget is not go here and there. So budget management skills are important. Professional judgment and proactiveness. I always consider and I always practice that one has to be proactive in terms of their activity, I mean, their decision making process. So you make a proper judgment and you should be proactive, because if you are not proactive or if you are only reactive all the time, it's not, I'm not saying that every time you have to be proactive, but many times you have to be reactive because the future is very uncertain, the no. So that's okay, but try to be more proactive and take decision that others may not be able to forecast, think that in advance. Skill to forecast, this is again linked with the proactiveness. You must have enough skills to forecast and identify key challenges which may happen in future. So forecasting and knowing things beforehand is also a key challenge before a pharmaceutical manager. Empathy and emotional intelligence. I don't need to explain the meaning of empathy and emotional intelligence. You are dealing with the team. As you grow in the business, you may have a lot of people working with you, under you. So you need to consider everything. You need to consider their emotional and personal problems. So you have to be empathetic, and emotional intelligence you should have. In-depth technical knowledge and understanding of the brand. You all will be given a brand, and when sometimes it happens that you are dealing with the brand, and when a doctor or a team member ask about something differently, you'll not be able to answer it unless and until you are thoroughly gone through the technicalities or in-depth analysis of that particular brand. So you must have technical knowledge about the subject, and you should be able to understand not only your brand but other brands also. And then the familiarity with the regulatory affairs. Everything is governed by some kind of regulatory procedures. We all are witnessing. We know that daily what is happening in the corona COVID vaccines. We know that which company is at what stage, and they are following the regulatory methods or not. So again, the same thing happens with the individual brands. So you have to have a sound knowledge about the regulatory affairs governing your particular brand or your that activity. Willingness to listen to the sales force. Okay, so sales force are the actual team which is working in the ground. So many times you'll get to hear something differently from the sales force, because they will be sharing their experience on the field. So listen to them and understand that what they're trying to say, and they come up with a solid you know uh, steps that can be addressed to on those problems. Time management. You know that time management is important aspects. You should not waste time, and you all the time you must be thinking about different issues that may happen. So you have to have a proper time management when you work in the field. Then patience and compose at every situation. So patience, see, sometimes you feel that you are very reactive. You experience a problem and you immediately react, and then you regret at the later stage that I should have reacted that way. So you should have a patience, you should be composed at every situation, and think twice, think three times, and then act. Okay, and this will definitely solve many problems. Otherwise it may lead to a difficult situation for a brand manager. And at the end, I just would like to end my presentation with few points that make a successful pharmaceutical manager. Curiosity. I know that the curiosity means that you always there is a aspect of learning. So you should be having this curiosity all the time. Okay, you must see what other brand managers are doing in different companies. Many of them are your friends. I mean, you have a batch, and all the batchmates are working in different pharmaceutical companies. So you must keep an eye on them. You should be able to see that what other brands are doing, what your competitors are doing, or within the company what other people are doing. So curiosity is one important aspect. Intuitiveness is another important parameter that you should have. You should have your vision. You must see that where do you want to see yourself after 2 years, where do you want to see after 5 years. I have seen when I interview people for the MBA program, I ask them that where do you see yourself after 5 years. So some of them, they say that no, they want to work with the best pharma industry, best pharma companies. Okay, because they have some kind of idea that this particular company will lead to these people on a different directions where they want to work. Robust customer knowledge. Okay, customers are doctors, the customers are uh, the patients, their relatives. So you should have a clear cut knowledge about their mindset, their knowledge, I mean, what they want. Okay, then the good business acumen. You must learn, you must also read many books related to the successful business people. Okay, how did they do things very differently. So good business acumen can also be learned from the successful people. Then assertiveness, it's very important that you assert your team. Okay, many times, the team members may take you for granted, but if you show that you are, you know them, you are, you're assertive, uh, they will not be able to make fool out of you. Then discipline is very important. You all, I think discipline is important for everyone. So you have to have a discipline and focusing towards the company goal, focusing on your own goal. You have to marry between your goal and the company's goal. Then only you will be able to successful in the pharmaceutical industry. I think with that, I thank you. I thank you once again to all Swati, Dr. Tangri, and other members for inviting me and allowing me to share my personal experience with all the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shibujan, for this wonderful presentation. A question was asked, like what are the skill sets which may be required, but that has been already answered in the presentation. So a question has come, Dr. Shibu, if may I ask you, a single question I'll take. The name is Nisar and he's asking assertive or aggressive. What is the difference between the two, sir? We have to be assertive or aggressive?
See, I personally feel that assertive is a better way to put forth. See, you don't need to be very aggressive. I mean, other people can also comment, but I personally feel that the aggressive may be not appropriate when we use the professional, setup. So I personally feel that you should be assertive rather than aggressive. Aggressiveness may lead to a negative things also. So I personally feel that I may not be able to exactly tell you the meaning of assertive and I mean, what is the exact difference between aggressiveness and assertiveness. But I personally feel that aggressiveness is may not be always good, but assertiveness has to be in line with the organization's profile and the work that you do.
Right, Shibu-san. So this was a question. Another question has come. Okay, the questions have started coming. I'll take the second one, and after that we shall proceed with the next speaker. Being intuitive is really fine. Is really being intuitive really fine? It is asked by Mr. Dishant Sukij. Being intuitive, sir. How important it is to be intuitive?
See, it is very important. It is important because this will give you a kind of a curiosity. I mean, there is many overlapping between these words, but intuitiveness. What I personally feel is that this will lead to innovativeness. You have to be innovative. You have to think differently. So unless and until you are intuitive, you not be able to think that way. So my important point that I wanted to convey is that if you are intuitive, you will always think differently. You will think always in a innovative way. I can give you many examples where people have acted innovatively and they that has successfully I mean these people were successful. So when you are intuitive, you will definitely get into some kind of innovativeness. I mean, see, you know that there is a company called White Hat Junior these days coming.
Right,
Now,
right.
who would think that at the age of 3, 4, or 5, they are teaching the coding method? So someone must have thought about these kind of things. Otherwise, you imagine 10 years ago, 5 years ago, nobody would thought that at age of 5, student would learn the these kind of IT skills. Then
Right.
the Baiju thing is, Baiju, I was told that it's a 1 or 1.5 billion company, billion dollar company. So completely online. See, the online, I mean, year back, we never thought that the online will be so comfortable and so adaptive to everyone. So these are some of the example where people were innovative and people, were intuitive and innovative, and that led to them to reach to this level.
Right. Thank you, Shibujan sir. I must also remember that Shibujan sir was earlier the faculty at IIHMR, our alma mater. So
I'm
there's a
basically from
connection
the
always with
first
that
batch of
college.
IHMR. I passed out in 96 to 98.
And he is an avid writer also. He has written around 30 articles in reputed journals. So thank you,
Thank you.
Shibu sir, for sharing with us, for answering these questions.